Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tashima and today I'm going to be talking all about the techniques that I use to have an epidural free birth. So if you haven't seen my previous video, it was about how I was able to have my epidural free birth, but today I'm going to break down what techniques I actually use during labor and delivery to be able to achieve that. And I'm also going to provide some additional techniques that I didn't use but that you can use maybe for your labor and delivery as well. So if you'd like to see how I was able to do that, just keep watching. So one of the things that really helped me for my epidural free birth was visualization. I visualized the ocean and contractions. Some people compare contractions to like a wave, how the waves come in and they crash on the shore and then they go back out to sea. So that really helped me a lot during my contractions. I thought of them as like a wave. And then another thing that helped, which is still the same thing as visualization, is every time I had a contraction, I just visualized my baby coming down and out. So for almost all of my contractions, I had my eyes closed anyway, and that really helped me to get through those contractions. Is visualizing my baby actually moving down the birth canal, which is what contractions essentially are, and then thinking of all of my contractions as a wave. Those two things really helped me a whole bunch during my labor and deliveries. So the very next thing that I want to mention is breathing techniques. And breathing during labor and delivery, proper breathing during labor and delivery is so important because you want to make sure that you're breathing enough for you and for the baby, and your breath can help you with your contractions. It can help you to stay calm, and it can also be a distraction because you're focusing on your breath as opposed to the amount of pain that you're in, which is not easy. So I did do a video on breathing techniques during labor and delivery. If you like a more in-depth explanation of breathing techniques, different breathing techniques that you can do during labor and delivery, I will link that video down below. But for me, during my contractions, it really helped during the early stages of labor for me to breathe in slowly through my nose and then out through my mouth. And then as the contractions got stronger, it really helped for me to just breathe a little bit more quickly, but still with control. The main thing about breathing techniques, it can help you to stay in control so that you don't hyperventilate and so that you don't work yourself up to the point where you're not breathing at all or not breathing correctly. And of course, that will affect your baby. So it kind of just gives you something to do in the moment instead of focusing on the pain. And then another breathing technique, which I'm not even sure if it's really a technique per se, is moaning. Don't be afraid to make noise in the labor and delivery room, whatever that looks like for you. Even if it's screaming, do what you gotta do to get through those contractions when they're really hard for you. Moaning really helped me, like a low, deep growl kind of moan. That helped me, and it was something that my body just did on its own. It's not even something that I was conscious of. It's not even something that I had planned on doing. But definitely through transition and the end of my labor and delivery, those last contractions, moaning was involved. So do what feels right for you at the moment with your breathing. So another thing that definitely helped me for all of my labor and deliveries was changing positions. And changing positions is good because the whole goal of labor and delivery, the whole goal of a vaginal birth is to get the baby down the birth canal and in the right position for birth. So frequently switching up your positions definitely helps to get the baby down, and it helps the baby to get in the right alignment. So during labor and delivery, I recommend, if you're in the bed for whatever reason, switching sides every so often. So like every 30 minutes to an hour. For one of my births, I had a peanut ball in between my legs because I was bed bound, but I still was going epidural free. So the peanut ball really helped to get the baby in the right position as well. If you can get out of the bed, definitely do that. Walk around, go to the bathroom, walk the hallways if you're allowed to, but if not, you can walk around in your room, that's fine. And definitely bouncing on an exercise ball even during labor and delivery definitely helps to get your baby in the right position, and it helps the baby, it encourages the baby to come down the birth canal. So change your positions as much as you can. Changing the positions also helps in the progression of your labor so that your labor doesn't stall as much as you can. Even though I know sometimes you get in a position and you're comfortable and you just want to stay there, trust me, I know, but moving around actually helps you have a faster birth, so keep that in mind as well. And then the very last thing that I want to talk about, which I've read about it, I've heard about it, but actually didn't use it to my last birth, is acupuncture. So my last birth was really quick. It was fast, and it was really like perfect. But I remember I was on my hands and knees and I was in those really hard contractions. I was going through transition and a nurse came in and she pressed this part of my foot and it was like the pain went away. It was so crazy. It's like I couldn't feel the pain in my stomach anymore. I could just feel the pressure in my foot, if that makes sense. So she pressed on my foot during my contraction. It was amazing, and she showed my mom and my sister how to do it, and then they did it for the rest of the contractions that I was in that position, and it was incredible. I don't know exactly what nerve she was pushing on, but acupuncture definitely works. And I know for my second birth, counter pressure really helped me during those hard contractions as well. So acupressure, any kind of pressure in the right area, in the right spot, can really definitely help you to get through the pain of contractions when you're trying to go epidural free. So those are all the techniques that I use for my epidural free births, but I like to share with you some additional ones that also can work for you for labor and delivery. So the first one that I like to mention is aromatherapy. So that is basically or essentially like an essential oil. Maybe it can be a candle. It could be just whatever your favorite smell is, something that's calm and relaxing to you, and you can have someone just wave it underneath your nose, or you can actually have a diffuser or a candle if your hospital allows you to do that wherever you're giving birth. So aromatherapy works because it's the same way it works when you're not in labor and delivery. It helps to relax you, it calms you down a little bit, and if it's a smell that means something to you, it can put you in a good mindset. It can put you in a good frame of mind. So aromatherapy is something that can help you during your labor and delivery as well. The next one that I like to mention is lighting. So I didn't intentionally use any kind of lighting for my labor and deliveries, but I would say that I preferred when it was dark. So for my second birth, my labor was really, really long, and I remember the lights being off pretty much the whole entire time, and that really helped. The TV, I'm not even sure if that was on, but it was dark in the room, the curtains were drawn, and it was a dark atmosphere. So that helped for my labor and delivery. For my second birth, and with my third birth, I think the lights were on, but for all of my contractions, I had my eyes closed. So lighting is something that can help to calm you down as well during labor and delivery and going through your contractions epidural free. So even if you like to bring your own lights, like string lights, I've seen some people do that. If you're delivering at home or if you're delivering in a birthing center, of course you can do all of that kind of stuff. You can bring up string lights. You can have iridescent lights, like lights that are different colors, like pink or purple or blue or whatever it is. You can have like some kind of mood setting lights, dimmers on your lights. So lighting definitely can help you through your labor as well. And then the next one that I like to mention is massage. So some women really like massages, or they really like maybe their back being rubbed, or maybe their shoulders, or maybe their hand being held during their contractions. And there are some massages or some counter pressure techniques that you can do during labor and delivery, like I was saying before, like the acupressure. But not everyone likes being touched during labor and delivery, and so you really won't know that until you're actually in the throes of it. I didn't like being touched during my labors and deliveries. I just like to be left alone, besides the one time with the acupressure on my foot and when I liked my hand being squeezed for my second birth as a counter pressure. So that's the only time. Massaging didn't work for me per se, but it may work for you. So that's something else that you can try as well. I know some women also like their hips being squeezed when they're going through those contractions, especially if you are a woman who is experiencing back labor, which I personally haven't, but I heard that that helps very well for back labor contraction pain as well. And then the last technique that I like to mention for this video that can help for your labor and delivery if you're trying to go epidural free is music. So having a playlist of your favorite songs, maybe motivational songs, maybe really upbeat songs, and maybe even some slow songs if you like. Whatever style, whatever type of music that you like to listen to, you can make a labor and delivery playlist, which I wish I had done something like that, but I don't know, I just never really got around to it. But I definitely highly recommend that if you're not someone who likes the room to be completely quiet. I think for me, I liked it more on the quiet side, but you can get a playlist, have it on your phone, and then when it's go time, play it, whatever it is, you know, something that really motivates you and puts you in the mood or in the spirit of giving birth. You can bring your phone, you can use that. Of course, you can bring like a speaker, whatever you feel like you need to bring for your labor and delivery. So you can do that, or it could be like classical music, relaxing music, whatever it is that's going to work for you. So music is also another good thing that can help you during your labor and deliveries as well. So that's all I have for this video on the techniques that I use for my labor and deliveries to go epidural free, and some additional techniques that you can use for your labor and delivery. If you've had an epidural free birth in the past, feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what worked for you, how you got through those really hard contractions, and how you were able to achieve that as well. If you are a mom and you're you're pregnant or if you're planning on having kids in the future, maybe leave a comment down below which of these techniques or tips you feel like will work for you or that you would like to try when you actually give birth. Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And remember to let your story be your power. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!